Uh, Before social media, um, it was the students who look for the master. Now it's different with social media because there are now a lot of masters. It's now the masters who look for the students.
Students. Yeah.
Hi everyone, welcome to episode 18 of Pinoy Martial Arts Mastermind. Today, our topic is martial arts in the age of social media. And by the way, episode 18 is our last episode for this season. We'll be taking a short break and then we will come back bigger and better in season 2.
Bigger,
Probably have
bigger in what way?
yes, wider.
Wider,
with bigger nonsense and
wider,
and then
and thicker.
yeah, and okay, so today, as usual, we're joined by Dr. Sixto Carlos, president of Calis Ilustrísimo Repetición Original, founder of Carlos Hermanos Stick and Knife Fighting, founding head of Libre Fighting Philippines, and founder of Urban Combatives Philippine Study Group. And also, we have the dashing Professor
Bonnier.
Franco Rolyoda, black belt jiu-jitsu instructor and international jiu-jitsu champion and coach from DefTac Philippines, and myself, Dax Cordero.
The Sith Lord,
Man of mystery. Man
the
of
international
mystery.
man of mystery.
Man of mystery. So yes, okay. So our topic for today is martial arts during the age of social media. So as with any aspect of life, martial arts has been very much affected by social media, by the internet, you know. So how was it exactly in your experience, Dr. Sixto? How was it before social media and all of these things? You know,
Oh my God.
was
So before, if you wanted to learn, you just studied in the local club because it's convenient. So it was a hit or miss thing before. Then if it sucked, you look for another club. But it was all word of mouth. Or maybe you could have watched a martial arts convention. And you see who's good and learn from them. Or another way, I think I mentioned word of mouth. No, yes, word of mouth. Word of mouth was a big thing back then. But well, I guess more or less that's it. And there was only one place where we went for our martial arts stuff back then. It was the Squadron Shop. Are you guys familiar with that?
in Green Hills. I remember that.
Classic.
Green Hills. That was the mecca of martial arts equipment. So you had to go there and check the books, check the magazines, talk to the owner, and ask them what's new, what's good.
I remember that shop. I would always look at the shurikens, and it was always my dream to buy a shuriken. Franco, before social media.
Oh, it's like it's more or less the same thing. A huge factor when it comes to your immediate resource of martial arts was your location. So whichever school was nearest to you, you definitely go there because it's always a 50-50 thing if you want to look for other schools or definitely street cred played a huge role back then. Diba? So there's this proliferation of urban legends and a lot of storytelling based on who was the badass, who beat who, and this instructor beat how many people. So that was the basis for enrollment. That was like who was the toughest coach out there, and people relied on stories. So it was either which gym was nearest your place, and or who do you really want to train it? Who do you want to train with based on reputation? And then it's so nice to hear Doc Sixto talk about Squadron. A lot of the guests, a lot of the martial artists na guest ko in my podcast mentioned Squadron as being the mecca or the resource. Um, Parang it was probably the only resource na store when it comes to martial arts before.
Yep.
So,
Pirated videos, pirated books.
di ba? Di ba? Recorded, screen recorded na
Yeah, it's
na
all there. It
MMA
was all
fights.
there. Yeah.
And I think it's safe to say that with the word of mouth and street cred and swapping of stories about schools, it created specialty shops like Squadron. And during that time, Squadron was the shop. Diba? It was your one-stop shop. Everyone, it kind of monopolized everything back then. So I think as far as my experience goes, every time I would ask about a karate school or a taekwondo school or a jeet kune do, or if I would only hear stories about Yaoyan and Pasokwan, and everyone would say, um, we want to try it out because we've heard so many stories about so and so and so. So, and then even my introduction to Sarian and eventually training with those people is based on the stories of my friends. So a lot of it was taking everything in, and then it was jumping into the training sessions. So a lot of it was influenced by my peer group and yun nga, storytelling.
As for me, it's similar. Because before social media, it was all word of mouth. It was so hard because among all of us, I am the most novice. I wasn't really exposed to it. Like my only prior experience to joining you guys was being part of the karate club in my high school, and even during that time, I only had the people around me to tell me, what to train and where to train. And I think this is true for a lot of people. My only resource, really, if you could call it a resource, were movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
So it was like your basis as to what you want. Like, if you want a graceful type of martial art, then you tend to gravitate towards Kung Fu, no? That series on TV starring Carradine.
David Carradine.
David Carradine, yeah, di ba?
Yeah, Kung
Or
Fu.
if you want something that's more rough and tough, you go for karate or judo. If you want kicks, it's all made up, like and you really have
Yes.
no choice, di ba?
I-
You had no way of verifying these things.
I remember that when I was taking up Taekwondo. Okay, then I was asking them. This was in the Taekwondo gym of Montusi in Las Piñas. I was asking them, what's a good resource where I can look for techniques I can apply in sparring?
Mm-hmm.
You know what they told me? Oh, watch Game of Death.
Yeah.
Look at what Bruce Lee did. You copy that. It works.
I think Dax's answer is the main answer to this question. And I think for the Philippines, it was Milo Best.
Milo Best.
I mean, back then they had
Oh, yeah,
taekwondo, they had
Yeah, they had
karate, they
karate,
had judo, they had, amongst other ball sports and others, other sporting events, they had martial arts in their curriculum.
And going back to what you said, Franco, you were saying about hearing about these martial arts. These rumors of martial arts. Like, for example, in our group, someone would say, there's this guy, he's teaching combat judo in Cubao. And all of a sudden, your imagination takes over. Like, wow, combat judo. I mean, that must be really badass.
Yeah, what is combat judo?
What is combat judo?
Sounds so scary.
And there's no way of you, to actually find out unless you actually go there. And when you go there, that's the thing. Without social media, then, whatever was taught to you, you just thought that it was true.
Yep.
Because you have your teacher, you have the black belt in front of you, he'll teach you whatever that, and there's no way of verifying. You don't know if this person actually fought. You don't know his training. Of course, he has his certifications, but who is he really? But you know that every day you're conditioned, so much by by his authority that you go there and then you just take everything that he says as truth without
Oh
the
yeah.
benefit of YouTube, without the benefit of Facebook and whatnot. So yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
remember. Okay, I remember these stories. There was this guy. He's very good in this. Oh, this guy, you can swing a baseball bat at him, and he can disarm you easily.
Yeah.
There were lots of stories like that.
Super.
Like, another one was the guy who beat Bruce Lee. No mentioning of names. Okay, the
All
guy
right.
who beat Bruce Lee. That he
Yeah.
supposedly kicked Bruce Lee in the nuts.
That was his claim to
Again, there's
fame.
no way to verify that.
That was his claim to fame. He milked that story, and then we'll digest and then we'll break it down later on. But that story was when I heard about it, and then that person really milked it. He really milked it.
So Sixto, you mentioned something very interesting before we started this recording. You said something about students and masters before and during social media.
Before social media, it was the students who look for the master. Now it's different with social media because there are now a lot of masters. It's now the masters who look for the students.
Yeah, that is true.
You mentioned
That's true.
you just mentioned that there are more masters. Why is that? Why are there more masters? Is it like the social media empower people into calling themselves masters? Or?
Let's just say people learned how to market themselves properly. Social media was a big help. I had to tell you frankly, you can check social media now and check a lot of instructors. A lot of them are they're no good. They're a waste of time. But they're so good in marketing. They know how to enhance their videos, etc. And they know how to write sales letters. So they're able to get a lot of students. But a lot of them they just plainly suck.
Yeah, I heard you say before that there was someone. Well, anyway, I heard before that someone said, or people, it is that the common consensus now about Filipino martial arts is that the really good instructors and masters are no longer from the Philippines, but from the US, from Europe.
From Europe.
And this is a perfect example of what you're saying, because the basis of people are the how fancy your videos are, or how great you look at in your videos, and it actually just boils down to editing.
Well, okay, it's not only them, okay, and a lot of them are quite good, but also quite a few that aren't so good, like you mentioned. They're able to make good videos, so they're able to market themselves a lot. Because I've met some of them, I saw some of their videos. If you look at their videos, they make videos where it's like a movie. It's like watching a movie. Then if you meet them in person,
You, Franco, how
super.
is your experience with the advent of social media?
It's very much the same. I really think that when the internet broke everything, social media opened everything. It opened the floodgates to information, and it gave everyone the opportunity to look for coaches, instructors, or masters that they really want. It gave them access, but at the same time, to the point of Doc Sixto, it gave the opportunity and the platform for bullshit artists to, create a story, create a narrative, create an image. I mean, if I think creating an image is the more appropriate term, at least for me. They would use, now it's not about the training anymore. It's all about using the platform to be entertaining. So if you're visually entertaining, and as you said, it was perfect. You use a lot of really good editing, then people will be more enticed. Because when it comes to social media and the internet, it's a lot of visualization. It's very visual. So if it captivates your eye and it sparks your curiosity, it moves you to look for that or to seek that person. And then in many ways, in many ways, true to form ni Doc Sixto, a lot of the bullshit artists who are really good at talking, really good,
Oh,
very,
yeah.
very flashy on video, turns out they're all duds. They're all duds. So, I mean, the internet has a lot of pros and cons. So, at least now we're just breaking it down and providing information to people that in as much as it democratized the availability of resources, it also created a lot of artists and scammers. I mean, that's the downside. That's the downside talaga.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
lots of scammers, and now there are too many masters, too few students.
Yep.
Yeah, in spite of that, because there is a proliferation of quacks. No?
There's even like an online certification, doc. Di ba kayo, I've seen a lot of foreigners or people in other countries like you get certified by attending so and so seminar, and then they say it's FMA, but the instructor's not Filipino. I'm like, and if you ask the story, it's that guy traveling to the Philippines, trained for like 3 months, and then
No, not even 3 months, 3 days.
ayun, then he got
3 days. I'm not
bestowed.
kidding. Three days. Yeah.
He got bestowed the blessing, or he drank the blood of some animal, or he got painted on the face. I'm like,
And now some
and these are the things that happened pre-internet. So I mean, this is the thing. If that person who runs this school will say, I am so and so and so master of this system, I trained in this system, I'm a black belt in so and so martial arts. Pre-internet, there was no way to verify it. I mean, so you will rely on the words of that person.
Yeah. The thing is about the internet or social media. Again, there are pros and cons. Like you said, you had no, visual proof of what they can actually do. Like I've heard of this guy, he can fight 50 persons, blah 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 blah, and it's true. They have a drill of fighting 50 persons. Then you watch the video. It's all bullshit. So
yes,
again, it goes both ways. Like before, even with equipment, right? Right, Franco.
Yeah.
To look for a mouth guard. How difficult was it? Back then? It was almost.
You really had to search. Like
it was almost impossible to find one. Even focus mitts, focus pads, pads. They were like gold before. It's like treasure hunting.
Yep,
you really had to look for them. But
it's either you had them manufactured, tailor made for you, and then when it comes to mouth guards, it's either you ask a relative from the States to bring home for you.
Yeah, it's the funny thing about these videos that come out, and we're talking about these fake masters and whatnot. That I noticed that among groups we like to pass these bullshit martial artists.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We pass along these, and we find it funny. We find it funny that they're doing this nonsense. But what I find strange and even funnier is the fact that you look at these videos, and they have like thousands of followers.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's like, I'm like, how is that possible? I mean, this guy is moving like a clown, and yet he has so many followers who are trying to move like clowns themselves. Can you explain that? Again, it goes down to marketing. Even if because I guess people don't know any better, especially for those who are not exposed. They see somebody doing this, and then they just say, okay, you can actually disarm this knife wielding assailant with 2 fingers, and because you don't know any better, hey, I want to learn that. I want to do the 2-finger disarm.
Yep.
But apart from that, you guys mentioned also that social media is a very important tool in terms of discovery. Like because like we said before, you don't really know the other martial arts. Before our social media, someone would tell you this, and then your imagination takes over. But now you can actually evaluate through social media. Like, you know, and Sixto, you mentioned that before about discovering new martial arts, that complemented your knowledge of fighting.
It was through social media where I discovered combatives in general. I only read about it in books. It was mentioned to me. Then again, it's through social media I discovered it's something I like, and I believe it's effective.
What about you, Franco? Like,
Uh,
what is the basic good that you know that you
oh yeah,
experience now that you have the tool of social media?
there are a lot of benefits with using social media and the internet when it comes to learning martial arts. And as much as there are a lot of bullshit artists out there, it also gave everyone, and I mean everybody, the opportunity to verify these people. Now there's a way to vet these masters. There's a way to verify if their claims are legitimate. You can now, like with the advent of crowdsourcing, you can actually be part of a group, be part of community, and then ask them, diba, is this instructor really good? Is What's the track record of this individual? Are the stories true? There is a way for you now to verify stories. That's one of the beautiful things for me when it comes to the usage of the internet, and particularly social media when it comes to um, making sure that you are on the right track and you're doing the right kind of training with the
But
right coach.
but okay, I'd like to say, I remember one of Alfred's fights when he was challenged and he beat up
Mm-hmm.
this guy. It's in social media. The video's
Yes.
there. You can see him basically treating the guy like a rag.
Oh yeah, he was
Yeah,
ragdolling that guy. He
yeah.
beat him up so bad. Yeah.
Okay. The thing is,
Oh, I was
whatever.
there. I was there.
Okay, whatever Alfred did, a lot of people would still justify that Alfred actually lost.
Oh
If,
yes.
even if the guy, you could see on video that the guy was saying time out, time out, time out.
And I
And,
really
Yeah,
think they're playing with different rules. I
and
think it's just a matter of,
people were
yeah.
saying like stuff like, oh, if they didn't have helmets, you know,
if
Alfred
they
would
didn't
have been
have
knocked out.
gloves,
You know,
blah,
yeah,
blah,
and
blah.
if they didn't have gloves, you know, if this was a more enclosed space, blah 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 blah. But there was always comments. But
I'll
yeah,
be like, yeah, let's just do
yeah,
it.
yeah.
That's the
I was
beautiful
gonna
thing
about
about
that.
social media. You can
Yes,
definitely say that comment. Okay, then let's just do it.
Oh yeah,
it,
it
yeah.
was because of social media why that fight happened. It was because of Dax that challenge in social
Everybody
media
wants a piece of
twice
Dax.
in 1 week.
Like, and
So
who am I, right? I'm a nobody. But anyway,
everyone,
no.
everyone wants a piece of the Daxter.
There's a thing that
mystery man.
Mm.
you guys mentioned, or you know, unintentionally mentioned, I think. And this
Mhm.
is and this is actually very interesting because with social media, if you notice, there has been the introduction and proliferation of verbal sparring. You know, whereas
Oh yeah,
before, because groups would actually fight. Like, you know, like I remember
yeah,
before in my high school, the karate team was always at odds with the taekwondo team, and you know, we didn't really scrap, but you know, there was
yeah.
always this tension. But then now, because of social media, you can actually you have these keyboard warriors now, and they do
Oh
the
yeah.
you know they discuss and like exactly what you're talking about with Alfred, you know, because all of a sudden now you have all these critics and who are you know, instead of actually fighting, they actually discuss, they debate the techniques, which was never really done before, no? Ikaw, Franco, what is your comment
So,
there, Franco?
oh, sige, before I answer that, meron ako naisip kagad na tanong eh. Kasi, like, for example, you guys are more into the combative side of things. Do you think that with social media and the internet, we've created more theorists rather than practitioners?
I would
Uh,
say so. I would
I,
say so.
for me, we've created more of experts
Ah,
than
okay.
more of
Yeah.
experts than practitioners. That's what happened.
You know,
Kasi,
there's a show on YouTube, and it's an American thing, and I'm not even gonna mention what martial art he's doing, but it's funny because there's this guy who's supposed to be a knife expert. I
mhm,
don't even know how people can call themselves knife experts. He was a
exactly.
he's a knife expert, and he analyzes the knife fights in movies. And he would say, "Oh, this is wrong. John Wick is doing it wrong because in real life, you hook the knife and then you can disarm and and it's like, really? I mean, how many knife fights have you been in?
Yep,
To
that's
actually,
true.
comment.
Again, we've created, you can create an image, you can create a persona. It depends on, like, you can put so many credentials on your page. Yeah. You can be a self-proclaimed expert. Yeah.
The guy is so smug. He's like, he's like doing these things, and I hate it. And it keeps popping up in my YouTube feed.
In your algorithm, yeah.
And I keep on. I don't want to hear it. It keeps on popping up, and he has like 150,000 followers.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Man, that's like crazy.
It was how he packaged himself. It was, again. So we're gonna circle back to our previous discussion. It's all about packaging yourself now. And I think this will totally relate to your question, kanina. Before, there was only one way to verify if you're good or not. It was to actually show up, spar, or get into a fight.
Yeah.
Now,
You should try it. Yeah.
you show up. If you have the balls, if you think that you're really good, then man up. Let's do it. Now, you can say, okay, do you think you're good? Yes, because of so. Theory 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and my lineage is so and so that traces back to God. And with that in mind, I can definitely say I can beat you. But the moment you ask them to actually spar, to actually show up to a place at a particular time and date and test their skill, a lot of excuses comes up. I mean,
yeah. We had
they're injured, they're sick, they have a kid.
Yeah. There was
have
this
a job.
There's this FMA master.
Master. Master.
He said he wanted to join our tournament, the Smash tournament.
Okay.
And he said, but I'm too old for that. I said, oh, we have a division for seniors. You can join.
Okay.
Oh, but I have an international seminar. I'll be out of town.
Nah.
The next thing I asked was, when are you coming back? I'll organize it when you're back.
Okay.
No, Six, remember this guy? I don't know, it's this French dude. He was. He was talking trash about. But I think I posted a sparring video. I think it was you and Alfred. I don't even remember, but he was talking trash about it, and he was saying,
this guy's famous. Everybody hates him anyway.
Yeah, and I said, okay, so if where's your video? And he goes, no, I don't show my videos because I really fight.
It's too deadly.
It's too deadly for killing.
Okay,
deadly.
Why don't you come here? And try just spar with us, our group. Friendly sparring. Just so maybe you can teach us whatever. And he goes, no, I'm very busy, and I live here in Cebu. I'm gonna say Cebu, okay? So you guys know who this is. I said, I live here in Cebu, and I'm too far. And I go, okay, we'll fly over there. Just tell us where you'll be, and we will spar, friendly spar. Oh no, because before you can, I run 20 kilometers a day. If you can, with weighted backpack, if you can do that, then you can spar with me. But before you can do that, you cannot. And I go, okay, I can do that. So when do we spar?
That's when you know that the person's a dud.
But that's another thing. A lot of guys were saying shit about that guy.
Mm-hmm.
We were the only ones who challenged him.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nobody else challenged him. But okay, come on, let's meet.
Mm-hmm.
Why nobody challenged him? Because when you look at his profile, he has these pictures of him in in white tie shorts and he's anti bag, and it's like I guess I guess people were saying like, oh, this guy's a real fighter, and you don't want to mess with this guy, but we know fighters. I'm like
what I think,
right?
I think with everything that you both are saying and our experiences, I think one of the main benefits of the people who are going to watch and listen to this and the ones who will secretly watch this and criticize us is that Filipinos na lang, Filipinos in general have a certain stereotype about fighters. and everything
Okay,
is about
interesting,
image
interesting.
management. Everything is about image management. Everything is about what people say about you. And one thing that people can also benefit from the internet is that, again, you can verify all these things. And then that's the difference between bullshit artists and people like us. When people like us do things, we are very confident that we can hold our own. We can hold our ground. We can represent our schools. We can represent our systems and our coaches. When in fact, a lot of people are hiding behind the image or the smoke screen of their schools and previous masters. I think that's one of the reasons why the Filipino martial arts industry or the combative section, the FMA section, hasn't really advanced or moved forward because we all have a lot of excuses. I mean, the story of Dax na lang, well, if you cannot run 20 kilometers without a vest, or I'm pretty sure if Dax will do that, that guy will find another excuse. Diba? It's always finding the excuse, and then you're saying that. I hear this all the time. And when I was when I was younger, I mean, I would entertain myself by joining groups and then having lengthy discussions about these things. And then my point lang at the end would be, okay, I'll go to your gym or you go to my gym or we'll meet at the neutral ground. Let's spar. And then they'll always say, no, that's not the martial artist way. You challenge us. You're violent. I've been commented way one too many times about hindi naman sparring is not just the proper way, or it's not just the way of measuring your skill. I'm like, wow, dude,
This
you tell me this whole thing is gonna work in the streets, then let's do it.
there's this forum. This is the Filipino Martial Arts Forum, and some of the members there, for some reason, they like to target libre fighting,
Mm-hmm.
and so we all know that Tiktanay, you Franco, we are all members of Libre Fighting Philippines,
Yeah.
and they call us. You know what they call us? They call us the Libre Thugs. All those Libre Thugs, and it's like, those Libre Thugs. This one is true. They said, oh, those Libre Thugs who like to wear black wicked fightwear shirts.
Yeah, I saw a comment like that before.
Like to spar in Carlos Hermanos and like to show off their scars. They're all thugs.
Mm-hmm.
They're all, And I go, wait a minute. How are we thugs? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I go, how am I a thug? I'm a family man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a loving father of two. I'm a
doctor.
I am a doctor. I have a business. My business is the one that you're criticizing, the wicked fighter. How exactly am I a thug?
Exactly.
And it's funny because it's just because they have this license to criticize you just because they don't like you, and it's baseless, and it social media gives them this courage to speak out,
to say those things. Yeah.
Yes, because they have anonymity now. Before
Yes.
you said something, people will find out and they will look for you.
Yeah.
Say some shit about somebody, they will find out. Now, you can use an avatar, use somebody
Fake
else.
account. Yeah.
Use John Wick as your name and say everything you want to say. That's one of the problems I see now in social media, the anonymity.
How does it affect the business of martial arts, social media?
It's good. Again, like what we said earlier, even a lot of sucky martial artists, they make money because of social media. They show a lot of bullshit. So actually, it's good. It's very good for marketing. If you're good for you. You get more students. If you suck, it's still good for you, but it's bad for it's bad for your, should I say, customers or student. Overall, it's good. It's good. Yeah.
Yeah, Franco, ikaw, I see you are quite popular in social media. you seem to be very comfortable, melding your craft
Uh,
with social media.
yeah, I think I I am fortunate enough to be born and practicing and knowing the platforms in martial arts so that knowing the platforms and social media so that I could share my experiences. And social media definitely benefits me in a huge way because now if I say that I'm a black belt, they can just check on my social media. They will see Alvin Aguilar putting a black belt on my waist, diba? And then if I say that I have been a lot of jiu-jitsu tournaments, go on social media, go on a Google search, all my tournament photos are there. If I say that I am an MMA coach, again, check social media. They see me training MMA fighters. They see me strategizing with these people. Then if I say I have the basic knowledge of hand-to-hand combat and the basic concepts of knife fighting, again, social media. So
Social media.
I use social media to share what I know. The benefit comes when people want to verify my words and my claims. They can do so via social media. So I think and that's why I have the confidence to say everything that I am saying right now because at the end of the day, if you're really good at something or if you're trying to promote a sport or you want me, I personally advocate uh, sharing stories and sharing experiences of the real masters and making sure that I leverage my own social media presence and platform to show people that give them the right sense of direction. Kumbaga, that okay, this is what I train. These are my instructors. So if I am
Right.
at this level, it's because of these people. So I suggest now that you go to their schools. I strongly suggest that you look for their instruction. So in a way,
Right.
that's how I make social media benefit me, but at the same time, my team, my affiliations, my coaches.
Right. Yeah. Social media has indeed made the world a smaller place. No?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
now, it's so easy for you to, at least with the online platforms, it's so easy for you to actually communicate with someone from halfway around the globe.
Yes.
Like during this lockdown period of ours, the longest in the world, the
Yeah.
Philippine lockdown, which is like what 5 months, 6 months.
Six,
More than
seven.
Um,
six. More than
Yeah.
yeah,
six.
Going seven.
uh,
Going seven.
yeah. Sixto and I, we were able to develop an online course,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Online
out of
course
necessity,
and
online
seminars.
course and seminars. Yeah,
Seminars.
how many have we had? Three seminars so far.
Three.
Yeah.
And we have two online courses, and we're working on future courses, and it's like we have students from Germany, we have students from France, from Spain, and this was not possible before.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and before you would be lucky to have a few local students, but then
Mm-hmm.
now from every nook and corner of the globe you can have students, and this is all thanks to the internet, the web, and social media.
Yes, like right now, when I was exposed to a COVID positive person, so I had to be isolated. During that time, I was collaborating with one of our friends from Croatia, and we were collaborating on a new project on a
Mm-hmm.
tomahawk instructional, and he was picking my brain. What are my comments on that? And I was asking him what he knew how to use it. So again, it makes everything easier. We don't have to meet like me and Dax. I haven't seen the guy since March or February. How
No,
many
I
months
think
was
I think we had a meeting in January or February in
then?
Rockwell. I think yeah,
Oh
that's the
yeah,
last
yeah, yeah,
time. We were
yeah.
planning for the year. We had so many
Yes,
Yeah.
things planned for the year.
but I haven't seen the guy. But we've done so many projects together.
In fact,
And
we have
speaking
one
of
that's
the
ongoing
internet,
now.
oh, and then
Yeah, we have
speaking
one
of
that's
the
ongoing
internet,
now.
like Doc, please tell the story. Like prior to the creation of Libre Fighting in the Philippines, like how were you able to discover it in the first place? How were you? What was the initial engagement, diba?
Okay, because the story behind that is I got tired of studying Filipino knife fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Because more or less you can classify them into two or three methodologies, more or
Mm-hmm.
less. Let's say somebody shows me a technique in FMA, I can classify, oh, you're here. Or
Yeah.
you're showing me that, oh, uh, that's your classification. And I got tired of that. So I wanted to look for other systems.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care if it was African, European, American. So I did a search and Libre came out. So I
Mm-hmm.
studied that. And some other systems that I'm interested in, like other combative knife systems, and another one is an
Mm.
African knife system, which I also studied a bit. Even that's if I studied that online. Remember?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
That group. Yes.
And the resource people are like halfway across the world.
Yeah.
yes.
So even speaking of like these discoveries of Libre and that knife system, like a perfect example would be Lee Morrison of Urban Combatives.
Yeah, true.
Sixto, you've been following the guy for like more than a decade already.
15 years,
And
15 years.
Yeah.
yeah, and then remember, I remember that I asked you and I said, hey, why don't we bring, we were talking about it, and he said, why don't we bring him over to the Philippines?
Mm.
And I go, okay, let's find out how. So I was looking at my phone, and then I go to his Facebook page, and
Mm-hmm.
I send him a message, and I go,
Yep.
basically what I said was, Lee, we are big fans. Can you come to the Philippines and teach us? And
Mm.
I think I talked to him like on a February. By November, he was here.
Yep.
And it was like the first of a few visits. And it was that easy. Imagine how it would have been before social media,
Oh,
Yeah.
before.
before the web.
Snail mail.
Oh yeah,
Long
you'd
distance
have these
calls.
exchanges. Yeah,
Or you have to
man.
go and visit them yourself.
Yes, I think that is the way to, that is the perfect answer. Before they would come here, you have to visit them there so that they would know that your intentions are pure.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because he was able to check because I said, oh, this is what we do, this is who we are,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, oh, we're with this group, we're with Carlos Harmanos, or with
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Fine, and he could check, like okay, just check us
Yep.
out, and see, and he could tell
Verify.
that we were the real thing, we were really sincere in our invitation of him coming here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, so all in all, good thing, bad thing, social media.
Both.
Both.
But I think
Well,
let's let we can provide guidelines as to, like, for future students or aspiring students on whichever martial art. Like, let's give our viewers and listeners like the proper guidelines based on our experiences, diba? Again, let's start with Dax because Dax is the most novice here, and I mean, based on his experience.
yeah. Okay. It all boils down to what what uh, what Frank was saying earlier. That if you say you're looking for a martial art, if you're looking for a teacher to teach you, you really have to check the background, the street cred as he calls it. So, and this is actually quite easy now. You look for his videos because normally people who try to sell you or you try to get you as a student will
Mm-hmm.
put out stuff there that will make you be attracted to
Yep.
joining or signing up with him, and and again, if you have these people and then you have groups and affiliations that are trusted, that are connected to this person, again, for example, you Franco, no? You're black belt where? Oh, DefTac. And DefTac is such a big name here. And like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so that guy's from DefTac. So,
Yeah.
then no? And then oh, Sixto is connected with urban combatives,
Mm-hmm.
because Sixto has his own system. It's Carlos Hermanos. Oh, what is Carlos Hermanos? But then you have all these masters, all these teachers, all these reputable martial artists studying
Mm-hmm.
Carlos Hermanos. And I go,
Yep.
okay, so this guy's legit. So you really have to do your research and not just listen to guys,
Yeah.
critiquing movies and because talk is cheap. Talk is cheap, and with social media, it's so easy to talk, right? Yeah, that's my 2 cents.
For me, I'm just gonna add to what Dax said earlier. Use the internet to your advantage. Look for reviews. Do do a significant amount of like second to third degree testimonials or reviews about this person before, and of course with the internet will provide you with a lot of options. So you take advantage of those things, you take advantage of those choices, and then make a decision. Now, once you're there, get a feel of who the person is, if your attitudes are, if you're in the same wavelength, and you adhere to the philosophy of that coach, then that's gonna be a perfect fit.
Okay, for me, before, I think I'm the oldest amongst us. It was more pure before. Let's say if you take up Kung Fu, you were a Kung Fu guy for a long time. If you were a karate guy, you were a karate guy. So before it was karate versus taekwondo, karate versus Kung Fu, or karate versus judo. Now everything's open.
Yeah.
It's not karate versus taekwondo. It's karate and taekwondo. It's karate and judo.
Right.
It's now we're now more open.
Yeah.
The thing about social media and the internet in general is before that resources were difficult. Again, we were discussing about the mouthpiece,
Podcast.
a mouth guard, buying protective equipment. It was a headache to look for that. Just to get an at least headgear, you had to man, you had to do a lot of things to get even the proper headgear, or even just the proper boxing gloves before. They were difficult to find. Now it's so easy. It's so easy to look for them, especially now in this pandemic. Just go to Facebook, check. There are lots of resources there. The thing
you can go to Lazada. You can go to online shopping.
Yeah. The thing is now, there are a lot of resources in not only in equipment but also in knowledge, where to go, etc. And it's easier to compare. But the thing now is, it has become more of a business thing. So my suggestion is warning. It's more for warning is buyer beware, because a lot of people now are so good with digital marketing, they can make a sucky martial artist look good or look like a master or even a grandmaster.
Yeah. Well, okay. And with that, I think it's time to conclude the show. I hope you guys learned something.
Conclude the season. Conclude the season, right?
Yes. Thank you so much. Okay, so my gosh, 18 episodes. Like, who would have thought, right? We were just I remember the first conversation we had about this thing, and basically Sixo just said, you know what, let's just do it. And so far we're 18 episodes in.
Both local and international guests. Mind you.
Thank you so much for sticking with us.
20
views
views per episode now. From 20 now it's 25. 25 now.
20 views, and I think I might have been like the 5 views there was probably me watching it.
There are a lot of videos. There are a lot of episodes with more than 500 views. So.
Oh yeah.
And according to our analytics, majority of our audience are abroad.
Oh yeah, 75%.
We're surprised. do they like us or do they hate us?
Thank you guys.
Either way,
thank you guys.
We don't care. Thanks.
Thanks.
We don't care. Thank you. Yes. I'd like to thank our biggest fans, my mom, my dad. But yeah, no. But whoever's out there, thank you so much. 18 episodes in, and I hope you guys stay tuned for the next episode. Like I said, it's going to be bigger. We're going to talk about more nonsense, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the things that people are afraid to talk about. So make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Please like this video. We're all on social media. Okay, so please follow the social media pages. Everything's on Facebook and on Instagram. And more than anything, thank you so much for listening and eavesdropping on our conversations.
Sixto, that
Anyway,
word.
uh, stay safe.
Stay safe, guys.
Still,
Anyway,
stay safe.
this is going to be a short break for us. Maybe a couple of weeks. Maybe a couple of weeks. Maybe 3 weeks. Who knows? All right. So stay safe, guys. Thanks again.
Bye bye.
See you
Bye.
next time.